Hi guys, welcome back to this Moneycontrol live stream. You're watching Closing Bell with me, Nandita Khemka.
And I'm Yatin Mota.
Well, the markets, took a hit after the RBI policy. We started on a positive note, but, post the policy, we saw the Nifty slip towards the day's low. In fact, both the Nifty and Sensex has lost nearly 1% in today's session. The broader markets have relatively outperformed, with the Nifty mid-cap index ending just about flat. But banks were a big drag today, and so was FMCG. Private banks in particular, the likes of ICICI, Axis, Kotak, all of them in the red. Outperforming is the Nifty PSU Bank index. In SBI, even yesterday it was up somewhere around 4%, and today as well, somewhere around 4%, the stock has rallied. Aside of that, if you look at the Nifty advanced decline ratio, they were firmly in favor of the losers. Autos, private banks, FMCG, top sectoral laggards. On the flip side, PSU banks were holding the fort. The index was up over 3% today, obviously led by SBI. Among the Nifty gainers, aside of SBI, we had other PSUs that continue to gain. Power Grid, you had BPCL, Coal India, and some of the IT names also saw some bit of buying. On the losing end, you had ITC, that stock slumped nearly 4%. We'll talk about what the trigger was really. Nestle, Axis Bank, Eicher Motors, Tata Consumer, these are some of the other losers. RBI, no surprises coming in there.
Absolutely.
The headline numbers were retained at 6.5%, the repo rate. And if you look at the stance, that was also a withdrawal of accommodation, vis-a-vis some section of economists expecting that the RBI would shift the stance, but that hasn't happened. And forecast-wise, growth forecast for FY25 came in at 7%, which was a bit of a positive. And when you look at inflation forecast, 4.5% for FY25. So that was all in all the trade for today. But broader end of the markets, a lot of movers there today. Yatin, PayTM once again sank 10%.
Yes, and it opened on a very strong footing, Nandita, and as the day progressed, and especially after the RBI governor's press conference and comments as to they were in engagement with PayTM, but because of repeated issues which cropped up, I think this kind of decision was taken by the RBI. I think the market really thought that it was the other way around. PayTM didn't get a chance of representation, or the PayTM's communication was ignored or something of that sort. But I think RBI made it quite clear that they were engaged with PayTM, and because of non-compliance issues, the action had come in. Probably that impacted the shares of PayTM, ending on the lower circuit. 446 is where it shut shop. Let's talk about the PSU basket, Nandita. And after PM Modi's comments in the parliament yesterday, we have LIC shares which touched record levels. We also have state insurers like New India Assurance and GIC Ray. Both of these stocks moving anywhere between 10 to 12%. BDL, which is Bharat Dynamics, another PSU, was one of the top gainers on the Nifty 500, gaining by nearly 9%. What also did well is TTML and Just Dial, both of these stocks up 8%. Apart from PayTM, on the losing side, we had UCO Bank correcting 7%, Varroc Engineering down 7%, IOB down 7%. So these mid-cap banks, wherein we saw a very sharp run-up, have finally seen some bit of profit taking. Yes Bank continues to see momentum. That stock recorded a turnover of nearly 6,300 crores. SBI also, Nandita, the overall volume for the session was nearly 5,000 crores on NSE cash.
Right, Yatin, since we were talking about PayTM, this is one stock that is on my radar this afternoon. Of course, as you mentioned, that industry thought that, a fair chance was not given to the PayTM CEO to give representations or defend themselves. But that hasn't happened, because the RBI governor has made it clear that, they had given enough time to the companies to comply with the norms. But in fact, sometimes they end up giving more time to these companies. And this is what had happened in this case as well. And, RBI has said that, they are a responsible regulator and supervisor, and everything, if at all everything was really complied for, why would they even take action? In fact, RBI governor has also said that there's no issue with the system per se, the fintech ecosystem. It's just an institution-specific issue. And most importantly, the RBI will issue, frequently asked questions next week related to action taken on PayTM. Whatever's there on all the questions that are there on the public domain, RBI will be issuing an FAQ next week, and of course all eyes will be on that. But just to give a background, last week the central bank had barred PayTM Payments Bank from accepting new deposits from the 29th of February. No further deposits or credit transactions or top-up shall be allowed in any customer accounts, prepaid instruments or FASTag and wallets, right? Now the company will have to transfer accounts to third-party banks after February 29 to ensure that the digital payments function smoothly. There is chatter that perhaps, the license of the PayTM's Payments Bank could also be cancelled, but of course we'll have to wait for more clarity on that. But remember, PayTM founder had also met with both RBI as well as Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman as well, but FM had told him that you have to deal directly with the RBI. So all in all, a volley of questions was faced by the RBI governor in the press conference today, and governor has
I think he was prepared to take questions.
He had a full 7-point pointer which he really read out in the press conference as well. Of course, as I mentioned, a volley of it was all about PayTM, the press conference, and less about the RBI policy today. But PayTM, of course, will be on the radar. Let's see what the RBI issues in terms of FAQs next week. So all eyes will be on that, Yatin.
Obviously, enough spoken on PayTM, and let's move to the earnings season as well. Tata Chemicals is one stock which reported dismal earnings, and HSBC today downgraded the stock to hold. The target has been cut to a level of 860 from the previous target price of 1140. Now, this is a very sharp target cut, largely on the back of the soda ash business, which is facing international headwinds. The soda ash prices have crashed in the marketplace and haven't been able to really recover. In fact, the brokerage expects that Tata Chemicals is expected to see a brief period of rebalancing. They have cut, the earnings and downgraded the stock, given the fact that the soda ash fundamentals are weakening, and also the expansion plans as well as strong marketing position of the company would probably be a valuation savior if the stock corrects further. But yes, because of the soda ash pricing, I think a lot of brokerages have cut their earnings estimate.
Right, chemical stocks, whenever we talk about it, we always mention that they have not been doing well, and so is the case. But let's talk about ITC, top Nifty loser today. Of course, the stock is also trading ex-dividend today. I think the company had announced dividend of 6.25 rupees along with earnings. But the bigger trigger, of course, the fact that British American Tobacco may cut its stake in the company from 29% to 25%. This is something that I think the company had already highlighted when the Q4 numbers had come out. But BAT has maintained, BAT as in British American Tobacco has maintained that they don't need to have more than 25% stake in the company to really have any influence. And ITC, remember, it doesn't really have a promoter. FIIs and DIIs both hold over 43% stake in the company, and public shareholding as on September quarter was somewhere around 14% or thereabouts. Now, of course, British American Tobacco has said that they will be looking to pare stake. This move could be looked upon as a move to pare its debt. And analysts, when we spoke to them, they said that the move will not have any kind of long-term impact because ITC has performed well, and from being a meme stock, it has come a long way. It has seen a good rally, and the concern really would be whether or not there will be one particular investor or a clutch of institutional investors who will be buying the stake, right? So the kind of outperformance that ITC shares have seen, some analysts believe that there could be more than one mutual fund institutions who will be interested in buying the stake. Also important to note is that BAT will need approvals to do or to take any kind of action with respect to the stake. And aside of that, if you look at, as I mentioned, the stock has been doing well. So analysts have also said that it won't have any kind of impact on the hotel business spin-off, and it should proceed as planned. So all in all, the stake sale, if it happens, will be just a near-term setback for the stock prices, but otherwise there will be takers for the stake buy, and long-term looks intact for ITC. Yatin.
Correct, and today after the news came in, the stock was down 4%. Clearly, the hangover will remain in the short to medium term.
But I think before we wrap, Zomato came out with very good numbers,
Yes.
right? The stock also reacted to it.
Yes,
It
they have
has swung to
reported
profit.
the profit for the quarter and strong gross order value growth. I think a lot of things will be spoken on the conference call, which can be discussed tomorrow. But yes, the numbers were quite good. In fact, they are grocery or the quick commerce
Quick commerce
business, which is
Blinkit.
Blinkit. They've also seen some strong improvement in profitability. Still in the loss when it comes to the EBIT levels, but the management is hopeful that early Q1 FY25, which is like 2 quarters from now, they could see a break even for Blinkit as well. So let's see whether or not the management is quite confident of maintaining these growth rates, especially when they have introduced a platform fee as to how much they can really flex their muscles and recover that fee from consumers. But yes, good numbers from Zomato. More details to follow once we listen in the conference call.
And we'll of course be decoding the numbers, tomorrow morning on my show Morning Trade. I'll be touching base with Karan Taurani and we'll ask him his views on the stock post the third quarter numbers. But with that, I think we're completely timed out on this edition of Closing Bell. Those were all the stocks on our radar this afternoon. If you have any comments, leave them in the comment section below, and of course stay tuned to Moneycontrol for all your other news and updates. Thanks a lot for watching.